Your Omaha High with Andy Greenberg is being sponsored by Best Buy Signs, creator of the Omaha Parks Program, OmahaFastFoods.com, Certified Transmission, Sholdit, Rotella's Italian Bakery, La Peeps Restaurant, Two Men and a Truck, Shout Weekly, Critter Control, Russ Kaplan Investments. Welcome to Your Omaha High with Andy Greenberg, the show that will leave you feeling great about yourself, Omaha's heroes, and Omaha, where we live, work, and play. So park yourself on the bench and have fun. Hi, and welcome to Your Omaha High with Andy Greenberg, the show that you return to each and every week. Why? Because you know it's a feel-good show. You know that we have these motivational vignettes that are personalized just for you. You know that we always profile a nonprofit organization here in Omaha for the wonderful work that they do. And of course, you turn in every Saturday morning to listen to a wonderful guest. Well, today we always say that this is a feel-good show. Well, I got news for you. Today, it is not going to be a feel-good show. What's it going to be? It's going to be a fun show because you're going to learn how to have fun. Now, who's qualified to teach us to have fun? None other than Angela Lee, who is a magnificent entrepreneur. She has successfully started 2 businesses which are known nationally and, as a matter of fact, internationally. But her main claim to fame is how to have fun. And when we talk to Angela, she's going to share some outrageous secrets with you on how to have fun, not only in your life, but also in your business. And how important it is to wake up each and every morning and say, today is the day that I'm going to have fun. So we're going to learn from her, but first, as we always do, we're going to start off with a motivational vignettes. So here we go. Now, let's assume for a moment that you are watching a horse race. And you know what happens with those horses? They go right into those gates. And of course, the bell rings and they begin to run because they've been trained to do so. But this is going to be a different type of a race. It's not going to be on a straight track. What's going to be happening? They're going to have hurdles put in front of them. And of course, we know that as jumping horses. Now, can you imagine for a moment the very first time that horse saw a hurdle? Now, they had a jockey. They were trained, but not quite enough to jump over that hurdle. What do you think the horse did? Well, you know it. The horse was afraid to jump over that hurdle until the horse was trained. And then each and every time, what happened? The hurdle got higher and higher and higher. And every time it got higher, you know what the horse says? Hey, give it to me. I'm ready for it. Train me how to do it, and I'll be good at it. Same thing in life, isn't it? When we take a look at a hurdle, the first time we see it, oh no, this is an obstacle. This is not for me. But when we get the proper training, when we allow ourselves to be trained for the hurdles and obstacles in life, we also, in everything that we do, should take the opportunity to say, come on, give me more. I'm trained. I'm ready. Nothing is going to stop me from finishing the race. Nothing is going to stop me from pursuing what is mine. Nothing is going to stop me from achieving the goal that I have set up. So you want to put hurdles in front of me? Go right ahead. I'm just going to train myself on how to overcome them, and I'm going to anticipate them. That is the type of attitude that each and every one of us should have. So from now on, anticipate hurdles in your life. Anticipate those obstacles. Get somebody to train you, and then show the world how fast you run and how high you can get. And of course, you know, when we watch sporting events, there is a player that is right there on the field, and that player has an opportunity to win the game, and that player has an opportunity to do their very best. But what happens? They fail. What do you do when you're watching the game and you're a fan or you're watching it on TV and somebody fails? You get mad at them, don't you? You fool. You could have done better. There's so much talent that you have. You get paid so much money. I'm upset with you. And you get really upset with that individual. Frankly, I can't blame you. But what happens when that person is you? Do you get mad at yourself when you don't work to your fullest potential? Do you get mad at yourself when you don't perform as well as you possibly can? And there are fans looking at you. This could be in business. This could be in your personal life. Remember, If you demand as much out of a sports person as to yourself, and you say to yourself, if I want a lot out of them, I deserve to get as much out of myself. I deserve to motivate myself. From now on, I want you to think of yourself as the fan. I want you to think of yourself as the fan of none other than one person, and that's you. Always push yourself. Always demand peak performance, and never ever settle for anything less. Because what you really want out of life is for people to cheer you, people to remember you for the great performances. So if you yell at the other person, yell at yourself, motivate yourself, and be thrilled with the success that you have. It is this time during the show each and every week that we talk about a nonprofit organization. And today we're going to be talking about Collective for Youth. Listen very carefully. No matter what door a child walks into for an out-of-school time, known as OST program, it should be a highly quality experience. Collective for Youth's mission is to lead and support a network of high-quality out-of-school programs that inspire and engage youth, stimulating academic and personal growth. It is their vision that all youth have expanded learning opportunities that ignite the imagination and grow the mind and provide the foundation for success in school and life. Collective for Youth provides support to 29 school-based OST sites serving over 5,000 youth. These hands-on experiences are opening doors for children every day. These opportunities span from elementary to middle school and help provide the needed support so that students can achieve success through graduation and pursue higher education for a successful career. Collectives for Youth vision is for all children and youth to have expanded learning opportunities that ignite and grow the mind. Learn more about Collective for Youth at www.collectiveforyouth.org. And now, at this time of the show, we are about to have a lot of fun. But I've got to ask you something. At the end of the day, how do you measure the success of your day? Is it by, hey, I had a lot of fun, or I didn't get into trouble, or I avoided bad things, or I had a lot of fun? By the end of this show, if you are not an individual that says, hey, I measure my day by the amount of fun that I have, then you really need to replay this, because we have Angela Lee with us. Angela, thank you so much for being on the show. I've known you for about 6 or 7 years. I've known you as a very successful entrepreneur, having started 2 businesses here in town. One of them is Strictly Business Magazine, which was your own beautiful idea that is working perfectly. And the other one, of course, is your internationally known product, Shoulder It.
Correct. Yes. Thanks for having me, Andy.
My pleasure. But you know what? I don't remember you as an entrepreneur. What I do remember you for, and the reason I respect you so much, is because of the fun that you have in life. I take a look at your Facebook page. I follow you. You're always smiling, always doing things that other people wish they could do. And when I ask you about it, you always say, Andy, I just like having fun. So in your opinion, Angela, what is fun?
Well, I'm thinking about talking to the Webster Dictionary, and I think that we need to change the definition of it.
Okay.
And I think that it's really the art of how you truly need to live.
The art of how you truly need to live.
Yes.
So that would be a definition. What would be some of the artistic methods of living? How would you expand on that?
Oh, goodness. Well, I just wake up every day and decide, am I going to have fun today, or is it going to be a bad day? And I prefer to have a fun day. So.
And that's the way you plan it.
That's the way I plan it.
So you put your feet on the floor.
That's right.
And you say, today is going to be a fun day for Angela.
Absolutely.
And when you take your feet off the floor at night.
What a fun day.
There you go. Now, some people might be watching this and saying that's a bunch of hogwash.
Maybe.
Convince us that it isn't.
Oh, goodness. Well, I just believe that every day you wake up and you have a new start. And like I said, it's a choice.
Sure.
And you can make something as simple as singing in the shower to making a smiley face pancake to, I mean, just the simplest things can make your day a better day.
Now, let's talk about outrageous. Do you have to do something outrageous to have fun?
It depends probably on your personality,
Okay.
what you're comfortable with. So,
Sure.
it might be running naked with the bulls, or you might be sitting there watching clouds take shape. And it can all be fun. It just depends on what you're comfortable with.
Now, when you do something outrageous, do you take yourself out of the comfort zone, or do you tend to stay in the comfort zone?
Again, probably depends on my mood. If
Sure.
I'm really feeling like, it's a good day to, do something crazy, I'll push the envelope. And if it's a day where, or, you're around a certain crowd that might, be a little bit more reserved, it's kind of more the light pokes and touches or,
Sure.
whatever, a joke.
So when you were in school, were you more focused on having fun or more focused on your academic pursuits?
I was a pretty balanced mix.
Okay.
I definitely studied hard. I believed that, in order to achieve, you have to study and,
Right.
and build on that. But if you're not doing something that is fun, to
Right.
me, then how are you ever going to get ahead in life?
Sure. Now, I want you to listen very carefully to what she just said. If you want to get ahead in life, you have to have fun. And I guarantee you that if you take a look at successful people, one of the things you'll find that there is a commonality is they like to have fun. They determine fun in their own vision, in their own ways. But at the end of the day, they probably follow what Angela says, and that is just wake up in the morning and say, hey, I am not going to allow a bad day to affect myself. I am going to control my day. I am going to make sure that everything that I do provides me with fun. But now let's get a little personal and see how she answers this question. Angela, what is the most outrageous thing you have ever done personally that you want to share, and then professionally?
Oh, goodness. Well, personally, I guess pretty outrageous. I took a 3-week trip, backpacked Norway, and basically landed into Oslo and had no agenda, no itinerary, just cruised the country for 3 weeks and slept in hostels. I slept on a park bench and then flew out, and it was just, there was nothing planned, and it was very spontaneous.
And that was fun.
And that was fun to me.
You did it with a group of people, yourself?
My cousin.
Your cousin. So it
Yes.
was a family-oriented
It
trip.
was.
Now, the one thing about cousin, by the way, I never know whether that's male or female.
It was male.
It was male. So you had your male cousin.
Yes.
And you went to Norway.
Yep.
Now, summer, winter, what was the
It was in the
climate?
summer,
In
so
the summer?
it was their midnight sun, so
Yeah.
it was 24 hours of daylight,
All right.
and it was just a cool experience.
Cool experience.
Yeah.
So what would you do? Would you actually do that? Would you take something totally spontaneous, unplanned, step out of your comfort zone into basically no comfort at all, and then say to yourself, oh, what the heck, I'm going to do it? That's what fun is defined as. That is what doing something outrageous is defined as. That is what happens when you come back from a trip like that and you say to yourself, you know what, I'm pretty special. There's not very many people that could do that, and I just did. Now, professionally, what's some of the outrageous things you've done professionally for your team and in your businesses that helped you become so successful?
Definitely. Well, I always encourage the team to just have fun, let's get work done, make hay,
Right.
but then you gotta enjoy the little moments. So we do everything from cart races in our warehouse to this last Christmas, I actually made them, I had one final gift, it was a warehouse gift,
Right.
and I made them actually do a walk-off dance. So they had to pick their song and they had to get up there and shake their booty.
Wow.
And we voted by screaming and yelling it for the best one that won. And so that was pretty fun. They were kind of shocked that I made them do it. And then the warehouse gift ended up being the big Hulk Hogan glove.
Sure.
So
sure.
then every time that there was any kind of an argument or a disturbance in the warehouse and we had to duke it out, we had to put the gloves on. And so we just try to make it fun.
Now, if you have a business or you work in a business and someone said to you, hey, you want to fight with me, you want to argue with me, you want to have a debate in the boardroom, put your Hulk Hogan gloves on, would you do that? And if not, why not? What's constraining you from allowing yourself to get rid of any limits, which, by the way, you put on yourself, nobody else puts limits on you, to do something like that? Because I can guarantee you that when that happens, it's almost like the Google model. We're all familiar with how loose they are there, how much fun they have there, and by the way, how successful they are there. And that is what having fun is all about. But there's an opposite part of fun, and that's serious. Why do people take life so seriously?
Absolutely. Well, unfortunately, I feel like people really think that they're being judged and they don't want society to make assumptions about how they behave. And so they're more limited and reserved when inside they're just screaming to get out.
So let's take this Norway trip for a moment. When you plan that, people probably said, they probably judged you, as some of the viewers are, and saying, it's crazy, you're nuts. I mean, come on, a woman driving around and walking around in Norway without anything, that's nuts. So what made you still continue to do it knowing that you've been judged?
I just, it's just, I'm a firm believer in achievement and getting over goals and fears and obstacles, and something always seems harder than when you actually do it and you can look back and say, wow, that was an incredible ride, an incredible journey, and I'm so glad that I did it.
And that is so profound for each and every one of us. You see, when you're judged by other people, you allow that judgment to impact the way you live your life. But there's something so important about not doing that. And listen to Angela's answer to the following question. I just think it's amazing. And actually, I didn't know this until we talked a little bit earlier. You have a motto that you live by.
I do.
What is that motto?
I bought the t-shirt. I am the love of my life.
And what does that mean? I mean, is that egotistical? What does that mean, you're the love of your life?
There's definitely a difference between egotistical and confidence,
Right.
and I am a firm believer in carrying your confidence, wearing your confidence, in fact. And for me, saying I'm the love of my life just means that if I don't respect myself, who else is going to?
That's correct. Now, would you buy a t-shirt like that? And if you wouldn't buy a t-shirt like that, when you heard Angela say that, what kind of a reaction did you have? Because I truly believe that each and every one of us should take that motto and make it part of our life. Because if we don't respect ourselves, other people won't. If we don't love ourselves, then other people won't either. And we can see for each and every one of us how successful that is, how wonderful that is, how much fun you can add to your life. Now, as a successful entrepreneur, what's the first thing that you think about when you wake up in the morning? And that is my business going to be successful, or am I going to have fun?
I think I'm going to have fun being successful.
Define that for us. What does that mean?
Just if I'm not happy, if I wake up in the day with drudgery on my plate,
Right.
why would I want to get out of bed?
Right.
I wake up every morning, 5:15, work out, and I am excited for the
Sure.
day. Like it just, I'm motivated. I've got an awesome team. I'm just happy about everything.
But let's say for a moment things go bad.
Mm-hmm.
How
And they do.
How do you handle that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not sunshine all day, every day,
Right.
that's for sure. And there's
Right.
definitely, you're on a roller coaster. And, even when a bad day hits or something that isn't as fun, and you have to look at it seriously, you need to step back, absorb it before you speak, I think, and always say, I could be worse off. But then you have to look at what you've got to deal with and deal with it, but understand that you're still very fortunate that you are in this place and you can make the best out of it.
And I want to add to that. I want to focus on something that most people don't know. And I only discovered this about 2 to 3 years ago, and it had a major impact on my life. You can look this up. It happens to be true. There are 6 billion people that live on planet Earth right now. 1 billion people, 1 billion, as we speak right now, live more than a mile away every day from a source of water. So sometimes when we think about something going bad, let's take it into perspective, exactly like Angela said. And let's take a look at things relatively speaking. So what? Something went bad. Remember, 1 billion people have to walk more than a mile every day for a source of water. Now, are they happy when they get to that water? You bet. Are they having fun doing it? No. We have such a magnificent opportunity in our lives to appreciate everything that we do. And not only appreciate it, but make sure that it happens to us. Make sure that it is so important for each and every one of us to learn to have fun. Can you teach people to have fun?
I can inspire.
How? How would you inspire that?
You want to get up and dance right now?
Yeah,
Huh?
okay.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
all right, sure. Sure, and that's one way to really have it done.
Yeah.
And do some of these crazy and outrageous things.
Absolutely.
Now, by the way, did you notice what she did when she said, let's get up and dance and have fun? She smiled. It's not one of these begrudgery, oh, let's get up and have fun. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to take a piece of paper or do it in your mind, and I want you to write down 3 outrageous things that you've always thought about doing but have never done. Because one of the things that Angela is going to be doing very shortly has to do with the Grand Canyon. You think Norway was something? Listen to this. So what are you going to do in the Grand Canyon?
We're backpacking for 5 days.
Right.
We're taking the rim to rim, so it's a 50-mile round trip backpack hike. You have to carry all your food, your water, everything that you need right there on you. There's there's no Holiday Inn or Denny's or anything
Jeez.
close.
And what's the nerve factor behind doing something like that?
I'm pumped. Like, I'm so excited. I can't wait for the adventure, and whatever comes, we're going to be as prepared as we can be, but we'll make do with what we've got.
Is there anything outrageous that you want to do but haven't done because you're afraid of doing it?
Oh, goodness. I really want to skydive.
Okay.
Yeah, I
All
do.
right.
That's on my bucket list.
Yes,
for
yes,
sure.
yes. And I always like to call it the life list. Because to me, bucket list is a negative
Yeah.
before I die, but I'm living.
There you go. I like it.
But let's always talk about the life list. So you're going to do skydiving eventually.
Eventually.
And let me ask you this question. So what would happen if a friend came over to you and said, Angela, I want to do something outrageous. I want to do something fun, but I put this limit on myself. Talk about inspiration. How would you take that person's ideas about what limits they set on themselves and inspire them to shatter through it?
Absolutely. Well, I think that, again, it comes back to that fear factor of, would I be judged for doing this? Is my heart going to stop doing it? That's what I think about if I skydive.
Sure.
So you look at kind of like your definition of fear, I think, is
Yeah.
absolutely the best. And I don't know
Yes.
if you've shared that with your viewers or not, but
I did once, but I'll review it
Yeah.
again. Fear is false experiences affecting reality, which means you conjure up all these things that you haven't experienced yet that are going to go wrong, and then you say to yourself, well, I thought of all these things that are going to go wrong, therefore I'm not going to do it because I'm a fearful person. So fear is false experiences affecting reality.
Right. So since I met with Andy years ago and he shared this with me, I put everything under that lens and I think, am I really thinking realistically about this?
Right.
And it kind of breaks down the decision that let's just go freaking do it.
Yep. Now, right now, you're single. Now, eventually, I'm assuming you want to be married with children. Don't know, but let's assume that you want to be, okay? And there are a lot of viewers out there today that are married with children. And they're probably saying, you know what, she's single. She can go to the Grand Canyon. She can go to Norway. She can have all this fun. I can't relate to her. What do you see yourself doing if and when you're married and you've got 3 kids?
We're all going to be crazy.
Okay?
Yeah, they're going to have to be absolutely insane.
Yeah, which is a good thing.
It's a good thing.
So you're not going to set limits for them.
No.
You're going to let them do outrageous things. You're going to
Absolutely.
empower them. And how do you think they're going to turn out? Like you?
Exactly.
Which is a great thing.
Yes.
So if there was one thing that you would like everybody to remember about this interview, what is the one thing you want them to remember about you, your lifestyle, and what you do?
Definitely. I kind of thought about this, and what came to mind just instantly was that achieving is fun.
Okay?
And so it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you're achieving and you're making a positive impact on your day, on your week, on your month, on your year, your life, somebody
Right.
else's life. To me, it's like, it's just filling yourself with fun. And that, to me, is the most rewarding thing you could ask for.
And achievements could be major achievements,
Yes.
or they could be small achievements.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people think about the word achievements. Man, I've got to get that big promotion. Or man, I've got to do this because it's very high. In life, in order to have fun, we can establish and celebrate and have fun with small achievements. Because when we get to those celebrations, what happens? It builds our self-confidence. It builds us up. Because I remember what you talked about happening in Norway. You had that self-confidence that really built up, that you did something that probably most of us wouldn't do. Now, here's a question for you. Would you go to Norway and backpack? Would you take your family there? Would you take all the precautions and think about what could possibly go wrong and say, okay, I now know what's going to go wrong, but these are hurdles. And just like we talked about earlier, I'm going to go ahead and jump over those hurdles. Angela, I promised everybody that there would be a lot of fun in interviewing you, so I've got a final question.
Oh, goodness.
How much fun did you have?
I had a riot. Anytime you're with Andy, it's
Oh,
nothing
thanks.
but smiles. I just
Thank you.
truly enjoy my time with you.
I appreciate that, and we all appreciate everything that we learned from you. Now, there's an expression called, hey, let's go the extra mile. Now, what does that mean, the extra mile? Well, that means, someone has set a limit, but then you said, you know what, the heck with this limit, I'm just going to take it a little bit extra, and I'm going to go that mile. But here's my question. Why stop at the mile? Where did that expression come from? If you're capable of doing the extra mile, I guarantee you're capable of doing 2 miles. You're capable of doing 3 miles. As a matter of fact, what I want to forget about forever is that word extra, because it should be second nature. It should be nonstop. It should be always moving forward. Because what do you really want to be known as? The person that stops when somebody else set a limit for you? The person that went the extra mile after that? Or the person that always pursued and the person that always achieved? So from now on, never allow yourself to be known as the person that follows the extra mile. Be the person that follows you. Be the person that you lead for everyone else. And be the nonstop person, the one without limits, the one that progressively always moves forward, just like Angela. And I know that you're going to have a lot of fun doing it. So let's review everything that we talked about this show. Number one, the feel-good show that really turned into a lot of fun. And please remember, when you see a hurdle, train for it. Don't stop. Jump over it. And then say to somebody, give me more. I want to go higher. I want to go better. And always remember that when you root for somebody in the sports field to do great, especially when it counts, you need to root for yourself. You need to say to yourself, I'm going to perform. People are going to cheer for me. I want as much out of my life as I demand out of that sports person that I don't know. And we also want to remember, never stop. Eliminate the extra mile from everything that you've ever thought about. Just keep on going and keep on pursuing. And remember the motto that Angela taught us. Remember what it means to have fun. Remember the attitude that each and every one of us needs to have every time that we get up in the morning and every time that we go to sleep at night. Because I want you to have fun in life. That's what it's about. Yes, it's about success. But success at the end of our lifetime should be measured by how much fun we had doing what we're doing. And that, by the way, is what your Omaha High with Andy Greenberg is all about each and every week. We have these guests just like Angela coming in and giving us some marvelous insights. So what could we possibly have for you next week? We've got a wonderful individual who over the age of 50, I can't tell you her age, she went back and got her PhD. She went back and pursued a lifelong achievement. Return next week for Sherry Schrage, who will teach us how to take the life of lessons and education and make it great for us. That'll be next week, this Saturday at 9 o'clock. Let's come back to your Omaha High with Andy Greenberg. In the meantime, stay high and have fun. We'll see you then. Your Omaha High with Andy Greenberg was sponsored by Best Buy Signs, creator of the Omaha Parks Program, OmahaFastFoods.com, Certified Transmission, Shold It, Rotella's Italian Bakery, La Peeps Restaurant, Two Men and a Truck, Shout Weekly, Critter Control, Russ Kaplan Investments.